which ushered us, or that gives the country, the government, this, and private industry the the authority to place us under slavery in the name of mass incarceration or imprisonment, right? So
Right.
we understand that you are at that point the judge has declares us duly convicted. So we are convicts as it relates to the Constitution and the 13th Amendment. That's voluntary slavery. I mean involuntary slavery servitude, right? Because of the act that we allegedly committed against society. But X also is a mathematical equation that represents unknown. That since we're always solving for X, and these issues that systemically has caused mass disinvestment, harm, pain, trauma in our community, we as returning citizens have determined that no one is going to save us but us. Since we had a hand in the terroristic effect of violence, gang, drugs, and violence in our own neighborhoods against our women and children, it's incumbent upon us as black men who are reformed, who are functioning at a higher level now that we are back in society to fix the damage that our own hands has caused, and we're not looking for no white man or no like I say, pastors and politicians to do that. And so hence Ex-Cons for Community and Social Change is more of a social change organization than it is anything else.
Yes, yes, beautiful. Thank you so much. That's
Founded in 2017.
yes, beautiful. You've been doing this for quite some time, my dear brother, and I
Yes.
certainly commend you for the work that you've been doing. I mean, the way that I met you is when I saw the headlines of the situation that took place at Colored Nails back in, I think that was 2019, where you
Mm.
had received information that this particular nail shop was reported to assaulting Black women. And so you came out there and visited and pretty much, warned them. But then you came out the second time because they repeated it. And there was a Black woman that was assaulted by, I guess, the owner or someone from that nail shop, that runs the nail shop. So this time you definitely stood on business. You honored your word and you made a clear statement to them. Um, I saw the videos and, you grabbed the bricks and you were breaking those windows. And so it said that the community bailed you out. And I was very, very pleased to hear that the unity to see and support the work that you're doing, because I looked at that as a true revolutionary move. And however, it was very disappointing to me when I found out that so many Black women actually returned. Wow. That's crazy. They returned back to that beauty salon, nail salon, and were doing business with them after you sacrificed your time, your energy, your life, basically, because that thing could have went left. But the love that you have for the Black woman to take that type of stance and say, no more are you going to be putting your hands on our women. I first of all want to commend you for that. Um, it really, like I said, it was very disappointing to see Black women back in the nail salon after that happened. How did that make you feel? What were your thoughts after seeing Black women patronizing that nail salon?
Yeah, that was very eye opening circumstance right there. And it's not as if I didn't know having the teachings of the honors of Nabi Muhammad, our condition, and that we're blind, deaf, and dumb. So it didn't hurt me as bad as it should have. But I was still disappointed in this, and I was kind of, it was shocking, of course, but it wasn't surprising to me because I understand who we are, what we are, and what we have become as a
Yeah.
result of our how you doing? As a result of our uh, slave mentality. So yeah, and that was the whole thing. You said it. To be able to just be and stand in the space of a father, uncle, brother, husband, and even the son to just say, hey, enough is enough. If women are calling me to look into something, then it's clearly something that I needed to look into that was a violation that they deemed as a violation to them. And that was actually when I did that. That was actually the third time I came back after seeing a video and witnessing the same individual continue to violate our black women. And then, so with that, it was clear that I had to keep my word. My word is bond, and I should give my life before my word should fail. I had to make sure that he understood that I actually really I brought the bricks, but my ultimate goal was to go there and drag his punk ass in the street and whoop him the way he wanted, the way he put his hand on black women, just to show, I want to see you do a man like that. If
Right.
you got all this confidence to put your hand on a black woman, the mother, the sister, the girlfriend, the aunt of a black man, then you need your ass whooped. And so I went there to specifically to drag him through the streets, and it was gonna be public since all the other stuff was public, but he wasn't there. So what I did is I just wanted to shut the place down. And
Yes.
so when I asked the sisters to please leave, because you all call us to protect and defend you all.
That's
But
right.
when it comes time for you all to stand against disrespect from
Hmm.
outsiders in your communities, and we come to put our life and our body in front of that, then you should respect that and honor that and move around. So they didn't. They continued to get their nails painted and their eyebrows done and eyelashes. So, I warned them to get out and clear the place. And then so I proceeded to bust the windows out to condemn it. And it was condemned, I think, for a whole week. And then even while it was condemned, the women were still going in there with boarded windows and boards all on the window to get their nails done,
Yeah.
which shows, which said to me and showed me that our women have no level. There's no level of disrespect that we won't tolerate. So,
Mhm.
and that's the hurtful thing more than anything. Watching them go into an abandoned building that I just condemned to get their nails done, right? And
Mhm.
I waited, as you can see, I didn't run. I committed an act of violence, and so they say. I mean, according to their law, and I waited on the police, and hence, when it was all done and the case was before the court, I was vindicated, and the case was thrown out. So I wasn't found guilty of anything. So I don't know what they're talking
Uh,
about.
right. Absolutely. I'm grateful, grateful, grateful. And you said something earlier. You understood the condition of our people. You know who we are. And it reminds me of what the honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches us, you know, is that we have to love our people more than they hate themselves, because you can see that it's a clear, just disconnection there, and love for self, that these black women would actually return back to that type of environment where they are being mistreated, physically abused, and continue to patronize these people putting food on their tables. So you definitely did a wonderful thing. And I just want to say, on behalf of all the awake women, we thank you so much, because that was in our honor, and we appreciate you.
Absolutely. What else should I do? If I don't do it, then who? And every man in America, that's a man that's seeing our black women violated, our children and babies shot and killed in these communities, these streets all over America, and babies coming, women and girls coming up missing all over this country, should feel outraged that any man or anybody would think it's okay to do that to our family members without consequences. So hopefully, I was just trying to be an inspiration to show people that even though I was on parole, even though I just got out of prison, after serving 21 years, I still would throw it all away to a fight
Wow.
for to protect our sisters in a situation like that, or even worse, because I even do a lot more than that, for our community that's not recorded. So, um,
Yes.
you know, that's because some of the stuff would be criminal, and I'd be in jail for sure if I showed like some of the stuff I fight for in these communities where we are being exploited by Arabs and others in these
Yes.
stores, businesses with this bad meat. With this, I've been in stores that had bad meat serving to our women and children. I don't show it, and then I went in there and just took all the meat out the cooler, put it in the garbage, and threw it in the dumpster. And
Yes,
then
sir.
when it took the tape out the doggone VCR or DVD, whatever it's called.
Hmm.
So for the camera. So I've done stuff that would land me in prison for sure. But I'm not. I don't see it as that. I see me as a revolutionary. Um, and in that light, just like I'm a revolutionary, even in my affront to a Democratic Chicago and saying ex-cons for Trump. I don't care about none of their political agendas. It doesn't match ours. But what we're saying is not hook, line, and sinker for 50 years. We have voted for the same party, and they never believed that we would do anything different. I don't care if it was Mickey Mouse in office. I was voting for Mickey Mouse. I'm gonna push for Mickey Mouse to win because it just has to come to a point where the systemic disinvestment and all the issues and ills that's languishing and plaguing our communities have to be addressed, and it must be addressed through the ballot or the bullet. It's nothing changed. Malcolm know it. Malcolm said it. You're gonna deal with the ballot. So when people talk about they're not gonna vote, they ain't gonna do this, they ain't gonna pick a side. There's only two sides to pick. You're going with Biden or you're going to Trump. The only other side is no option for you, meaning that if you're not gonna pick up a gun and create freedom through the bullet, you
Hmm.
got to be figuring out how to do it through the ballot because all politics is local. A national election doesn't affect Chicago because in our communities we have over 150 black elected positions, and our communities still look the way they look. So we understand that just because you put a black face there, it don't necessarily mean that that face is a representation of the people that sit there. You know. So we gotta make them know that listen, we'll put another lesser devil in there. But I ain't gonna argue with you back and forth about which devil is better. I'm gonna just do what I do, and then hopefully you'll catch on enough to understand that we got an opportunity to create a movement. We have an opportunity to put our put our issues on the table to say, hey, I need prison reform. I have an ex-con constituency of 80 million black men. I mean, 80 million men and women in this country. So someone has to represent that perpetual discriminated against social, economic class and caste of people that everybody violates. So that's my stance on that, and that's my affront. I can't hear you. I think you went out, Victoria. Can you, can you hear me? You can hear me? I can't hear you. Take your time. I'm here.
How about now? Can you hear me?
I, I hear you now.
Good. Thank you so much. Thank you everybody for your patience as well, listening audience. Yeah, this is my second episode, so I had to learn by experience that those notifications should be turned off or it will interfere with our live. So much for that. We shouldn't have that issue again. I was saying that I remember the minister, the Honorable Minister was Farrakhan, shared that Trump was going to be the last president, and I'm paraphrasing. So I mean, hey, you're on point, because he's the one that's going to take America down. So I'm looking forward to whatever the time is and what must be done in this hour.
Yeah, yeah, I see it even.
Let
Like I
me.
said, I see it even. Go ahead.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. What was you saying, Sister
Oh no,
Victoria?
sir. Go ahead.
Well, I see it even deeper than that. And everything is always morphing into something greater. And Allah is the author of everything, so He has the ability to transform, forgive, or condemn. So I just see an awakening, of consciousness amongst our people. And a lot of that is coming from the returning citizen population. Because one thing I recognized while I was incarcerated is that ex-cons was freer in prison than the people in society was free in body. We were free in mind, what we weren't. I mean, we're not in body. So, so a lot of the people look at us as being captive and in captivity, but in actuality, we was free from all the accoutrements of life that everyone else is chasing, whether it's bills, whether it was fashion, whether it was because we all wore the same clothes, we all ate the same food, we all slept in the same type of beds, we all one put one bed, one flusher than the other one, we all showered in the same shower, we all ate at the same mess hall, we all lift the same weights, we all went to the same chapel. See, or the mosque. We all did. Everything was uniform. When you get in America and in society, everybody, you got the Cadillac, you got the Bentley, the Benz, you got this, you got the rent to be paid, the lights, the gas. You got all of these things. You got to eat the food, the gas. You have to purchase. So the burdens on society is much different than what the burdens are for us. So I was free and clear to study and read 8 hours a day. Where the
Yeah.
average person don't have that opportunity. I probably
Mhm.
read 10,000 books in 20 years. So just
Okay.
to show you, like, you know what I'm saying, the type of time that we actually have that they didn't have, that you all
Mhm.
don't have when you out here in free society, because you're constantly dealing with the issues and ills of life just to survive, right? We didn't have that. So that's one thing, and that's why I always say I was in college for 21 years. I wasn't
Okay.
in I wasn't in prison.
That's beautiful. That's like turning a negative into a positive in a real deep way. I
That's
love it.
exactly it.
Hmm. Now let me
As it
yes, sir.
Go ahead, sister.
Okay. I have a question for you, sir. Um,
Okay.
yes. Let's talk about ECCSC, Ex-Cons for Community and Social Change. What birthed this vision? And where did it start?
No, it started in prison, right? It
Okay.
started as a result of me watching black men and boys coming in and out of prison. And I said, you know what? In my heart, I understood that there has to be a change, a narrative. We have to. I couldn't just sit there and I left over 200 sons in prison, right? That I raised and transformed. They're all slowly coming out one by one, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I said, it's not gonna be, it's not gonna be them that fix it, because Black Death is a hustle, prison industrial complex is a
Mm-hmm.
hustle. All these things are designed. So and you even have bodies in stock. You have prison stocks and bodies of people on the stock market. So
Wow.
they have no incentive of transforming lives, nor do they have any incentive for making that person that violated some tenet of society a better person. Which oftentimes men come in and out, and they are released back in prison worse than when they went in. See, because you
Mm,
got to understand something. I've encountered in 20 years every manner of evil that exists in society that was behind the wall, that was locked up with me.
mm,
So we are interacting and living amongst all of these individuals. So when you think about prison, policing, public safety, and all these different narratives, all of these things, it's like to me, when white folks say more policing, they don't say more policing to lock their kids up. They're saying
mm.
more policing to lock you up. They're
Yes.
saying more policing to lock us up. So
Hmm.
this is why you can never have a system of police that protects corporations, that protects institutions, and not civilians or the citizens of America. So they have all gotten it wrong, and they never see themselves as working for the people. They actually act as though we work for them.
Yeah.
So that becomes the thing. So we said that we was going to change the narrative, and ex-con for community and social change, like I say, was a social justice organization that would that would be the agitators to put forth those thoughts and those narratives that then turn um, a negative into a positive. So X of everything negative, which is con. See,
Yes.
so we pro. We pro now.
I love it. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. And I see that right underneath the umbrella of the ECC, ECCSC, you have Project SOS, Save Our Streets. Can you tell me a little bit about that project?
So Project SOS is saving our streets, saving our sisters, saving our sons, saving ourselves, right? Saving our
Yes.
seniors. So
Okay.
that Project SOS is the distress signal that said we have to get to the business of that. That's a distress signal that goes up in the communities that says
Mm,
sisters, sons, seniors, and ourselves. We have to be
mm,
about the business of of um, of figuring out how to prevent early death of our sons, to
yes.
resurrect and raise the moral consciousness of our sisters, and to ultimately protect and support our seniors. And then in turn, we would then be helping ourselves. So Project SOS is just that, a distress signal of black men coming together from all the facets of life that you collaborate with to create army and military formation or armed forces of for the community that don't have law enforcement or government in mind.
Yes. Oh, wow. Beautiful.
Because it's not, at the end of the day, it's not the police job to correct and check your son, your daughter, your sister. It's not their job. This country has made policing the scapegoats of
Mm,
all the issues and ills that society puts on them. Like they have to go home to their families, and a lot of that becomes nothing more than accoutrements of war and tools. So we can't keep getting caught up in that. We have to figure out how we save ourselves because they
yeah.
have already proven that they can't save us, that they
Mm,
can't prevent. We only respond. That's a
absolutely.
response. So our organization is designed and intended on preventing the next black woman from being murdered, raped, robbed, carjacked.
Mm. Yeah, that's powerful, brother. That's good work. I tell you, when I think about what you're doing, it kind of reminds me of the 10,000 Fearless, which is headquartered in Atlanta, Georgia. And so these are some of the same things, in fact, that the brothers and sisters in the Nation of Islam are, are doing in order to
Well,
uplift the downtrodden.
they're tasked to do it. The minister has
Yeah.
tasked us to do that. And
Yes.
the wisdom of the minister is this. If 10,000 feelers was in the mosque, the minister wouldn't have said he needs 10,000 feelers.
Come on now. He said
It's
some of his best
10,000
followers are out
feelers.
in the street.
And absolutely the best followers are in the street. And absolutely you have more former believers former, let me say this, you have more believers in bad standing, according to that administration, in the streets than you have so-called Muslims in good standing in the mosque.
Mhm.
So I wear the name Muhammad.
Mhm.
When I walk in the room with white folks, when I walk in the room with legislators, when I walk in the room, they know I'm not their nigga.
Come on now.
See, so I don't have to wear a bow tie and a suit
Hmm.
to represent the teachers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And oftentimes, um, the people you're trying to reach, that's why we're not effective at resurrecting the dead, even in our garments or in our bow ties, because oftentimes, though we are upright, though we are come from the streets, we tend to forget and frown on the very people that we are tasked to save. So we become those pompous individuals as well. Sometimes I know I've been there. So
Yes, yes.
so you can't be that way, and you're not able to be a fisher of men if you don't know what type of bait to catch the fish with.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes
Absolutely.
we're not trained properly on how to properly bait a rod. We don't know if we need a reel. We don't know if we need a type, what is it, torpedo type, what is it, typhoon. We don't
Hmm.
know the level whale we got to catch, and we don't understand that we can't catch a whale with a cane pole. See what I'm saying? So we got a lot
Absolutely.
of, you got a lot of how you doing, sis? Yes, I'm I'm good. Go check. Hold on, there. I got. Yes, please. How you doing? Ex-cons for Trump.
All right.
How are you, pal? Yeah, you did. Okay. Where you from? What city? Okay. Yes, ma'am. Let me get your card. Yeah, I'm sorry. This is what we doing
Yep.
out here working.
I see you're busy working, brother.
Mhm. Um, here you go, sister. Milwaukee, right? We got ECCSC coming here. That's my organization. It'll be here soon. What's your name? Laritra. Nice to meet you, Laritra. I'm brother Tyrone. Yeah, Muhammad. Yes, man. All right, it's there. Thank you. All right.
Yes, sir. Beautiful.
Yes,
So you
sir.
out here busy working?
You got, yeah, I'm in the interview now, but you want to ask me a few questions? Go ahead, real quick. How you feel about this? Is this
Double interview. It's okay.
double? She said, okay, it's okay. So,
Yes.
huh? Yeah, you can say, go ahead. Thank you, brother. All right. You from out here as well? You okay. Yes, sir. All right. Yes, sir. It's on. No question.
All right, man. Hey, how's it going?
I'm
What's your
good.
name?
My name is Tyrone Muhammad.
Tyrone Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
And you're a Trump supporter.
Yes, I am.
And your hat says ex-cons for Trump. Can you tell
Right.
me about? Did you always support President Trump,
No,
or did you?
I don't see neither party serving one of the most disinvested, one of the most violated and perpetually discriminated populations in this country. I don't see any, for instance, returning citizens who are over 80 million in this country. And we are the most incarcerated nation in the world, America. Yet we are not at the table to talk to our elected officials. Don't bring them men or women to the table to talk about um, the issues that's affecting them. from housing to mental health to unemployment opportunities, health care, and perpetual discrimination in every social economic area.
And what about Trump?
Well,
Makes you think that he can help you out with these things?
Trump did start the Second Chance Act,
That's right.
and it released over 50,000 or more ex-felons who had excessive sentencing. That was also ushered in by Clinton '94 crime bill. So, um, so with that being said, it's not about Trump and what he's doing. It's about us as returning citizens not getting the fast shake even under the Democratic Party that don't see us, don't hear us, don't listen to us, and don't serve our issues. We pay taxes, but we have no representation. So the Constitution says no taxation without representation. So if we're not being served by that party, I wouldn't care if it was. It's not that it's about Trump. If it was Mickey Mouse, it'd be ex-cons for Mickey Mouse because it's an affront and a pushback against the establishment of Democrats that think that they have a monopoly on our votes, and they don't.
And you think that Trump, if he gets elected this time, can do some more good on that front for you?
I don't know. I mean, I would beg to differ in the sense that I will always watch who's at the table. If I'm at the table, for sure, I can count on my constituents, returning citizens in our community, can count on I'm going to bring back the bacon or the ham or the lamb. You see what I'm saying? I'm not going to allow for us not to get at real, true prison reform. Prison reform is everything. It's a part of public safety. If you don't you can't be serious about public safety if you don't do real innovative ideas to bring about real prison reform and reentry.
Reentry. So you're concerned with people getting some help while they're in prison, so that when they reenter society, they can.
It should start in prison. Once our tax dollars, we as American citizens, sentence the people, the government, we the people, or by jury, their peers, or by the court, immediately reformation should start. You should not release men back into society worse than when they went in. If that is the case, we're failing the taxpayers. Because your mother, my mother, become a that tended to just warehouse men and not reform men. Reformation is the model.
And given your shirt, it seems like obviously you do prefer Trump over Biden.
Absolutely.
And is there any
Biden is one who ushered in the Clinton '94 crime bill.
the main reason that you don't like?
No, not really. I've heard them say a lot of racist stuff.
Okay.
Like those predators. You see, because when
you
you ask,
Trump's racist, because a lot of people would say that Trump is a racist.
I can't say who. He could be a classist. He don't necessarily be a racist. I don't know what that is, because when you say racist, I can tell you that I know a bunch of black elected officials that have been worse to our community than Trump has ever been. So what would you call them? See what I'm saying? So we don't play these race games. I play interest. What's in it for us? How do we best maximize those positions? If we don't do it with the ballot, then you're gonna have a revolution. We're gonna have to do it with the bullet. So we can't have we can't have a one united nation with 7 or 8 different standards for human beings just because they have money or class or parentage.
And one final question, I'll leave you alone. Do you have any thoughts about the assassination attempt a few days ago?
Hey, violence is as America as apple pie or apple pie. See, I don't have nothing. Martin Luther King was assassinated. What did he do? Malcolm X was murdered. Fred Hampton, Medgar Evers, Kennedy, both Kennedys was murdered on America's soil. So assassination attempt, what they missed? See, that's the blessing and understanding that, hey, Trump, you gotta change your level of empathy. because the what bullets does to bodies. And America love its guns. Yet they say they love freedom, but yet we don't really respect freedom of speech, freedom of choice, freedom to exist. We always find a reason to tell somebody why and how they should practice their democracy. So the government must stay out of our business when it comes to raising our children and protecting our communities. It's the same. It's the same. Well, the ex-felons are more conservative than most conservatives, but the Republicans are too bigoted, biased, and some are prejudiced to even understand that they got a whole separate demographics that they could control every city if they only wasn't bigoted, racist, and biased.
Do you agree with the idea that Trump kind of took over the Republican Party and is remaking it into something different?
No, he hasn't shown me nothing yet.
No.
So you can't. He's a radical. He's a rebel. So that's it. We got a lot of radicals and rebels languishing in our communities and in our highways and byways. But those same radicals and rebels, where in Chicago, over 250 women and children are murdered. I don't hear Trump. I don't hear the people that's in there rooting for Trump to say violence anywhere is violence everywhere. When black bodies are splattered and over the ground, we got assassinations going on every day in these communities in the metropolis throughout America. Yet they don't have the same push. They don't have the same policing and security that they have on Trump. Look what we have to go through. Democracy was violated, even with all this policing, just to get to something. But the people are so blind, deaf, and dumb. They need leaders. They need shepherds. They don't need a president. They don't need a political leader and political capital. They need God. They need, you understand, they need real saviors. And they not listening to the voices of the people. And then the people such as people like me and others who have the scarlet letter of the X on our back are often silenced and listen. But we are the most gifted and blessed by God and guided than anybody. Remember, we was able to tap into ourselves in the quiet spaces of our 9x12 cells to talk to nobody but ourselves and God. We didn't have the distractions of the world. So what they're looking at and negatively, they should be saying that may be the answer that God used and removed certain people he loved off the streets. And he removed people away from the ills of society in order to work on their hearts and minds so that they could be useful to the community. So
it sounds like you're taking that pretty seriously.
Oh, absolutely. I don't have no choice. Okay. I have a mission. I'm on a mission. So whether people understand it or not, it's divine, it's anointing. It's an anointing that we have to take on and accept personal responsibility for ourselves.
And people, if they're interested in your work, can go to xconsfortrump.com.
Yeah,
what you're doing.
Exactly, and they can go to ECCSC.org, ECCSC.org, and that's XCons for the community and social change.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, sir, very much.
You're welcome.
By the way, I'm from Chicago. So
you are?
I know exactly what you mean.
Let me get you a card so we can stay in touch. What's your name?
Rich.
All right, Rich. What's the name of your podcast or documentary you're doing?
This is just a personal thing. I put it up on Instagram. Sometimes I do get it to newspapers. Okay. Not often.
Okay.
Sometimes. I was at the convention when Trump got first nominated, and I'm going to cover the Democrat convention in Chicago.
Absolutely. Well, tag me. I got Vivek Ramaswamy. We're trying to get Trump to walk through the neighborhoods of Chicago as well. So Vivek will be rocking. We could be something. You can follow us.
Are you on
Instagram, Facebook? Tyrone, Muhummad, you Google me. You'll see all of it.
I actually just took a picture yesterday at, I don't know how familiar you are with the Chicago neighborhoods. But
yes.
Inglewood?
Yeah, I'm born and raised in Inglewood.
Oh, did you see the Trump mural that went up?
Yeah.
70th and Halstead?
Yeah.
I went down there yesterday, took some photos.
I'll look at you. But no, that's great, man. But black people in their mind, we're not on the list. We all have our own thoughts and concepts, and we all support in our own ways. Everything I do is systemic, and it works towards fixing the damage that was caused by the war on drugs and patriarchal racism that has plagued our country that they have never apologized for, nor have they ever sought to fix it and repair that. So, that's being at the table deals with that. And then now most of our elected officials are intellectual cowards.
They are.
So they can't say that and they won't say it. They're too politically correct. So we're going to have some people at the table that will.
Well, as somebody who's also supports Trump for my own reasons, I got to say I'm happy to have you in our coalition.
Thank you, brother.
Really nice to meet you.
You as well. Let's stay in touch.
All right, man.
All right, thank you.
Take care.
Yep, take care.
I see you're out there doing the work, and just want to do a quick disclaimer so that there's no misunderstandings on anything coming from the show. That in the Nation of Islam, me being a registered MGT in the Nation of Islam, of course, we do not carry any weapons. Nothing as small as a penknife. So that's just where we are with that part. But what I wanted to share, brother, I see you are super busy. The people love you. The people want to know what you're doing. And you are certainly a revolutionary. Now, in the work of being a revolutionary, what are some of the biggest challenges, and how do you overcome those challenges?
Well, say Allah is one God. You hear me? There's no other way to do it, because when you have the burden of a blind, deaf, and dumb people on your shoulders, and like me, I get death threats all the time, but I ever worry about it. You saw all the police behind me with my back turned to them, so I don't fear those consequences, because our lives are after life and death. But the greatest thing is really just probably having the necessary resources to do the greatest good, right? Because I wouldn't give me no money either if I want to maintain the status quo. You understand what I'm saying? I want to see certain people gonna do something that certain people would never get the resources, because they will ultimately be in a position to build army, to build power, to build structure, to save lives. Like death is a hustle in every industry. And we control the only industry we as black people control is graveyards and prisons. That's the number one industry that our bodies languish, you know, spellbound or decapitate. I mean, decompose, decomposing prisons and graveyards, and it's not going to change. The laws that ensues, even the laws that Donald Trump may pass or the Supreme Court may pass. But that's why we have to be put in a position to say, "Thus said the Lord," homie. Not while I'm sitting at this table. Listen, this is what we're gonna do. This is what it's gonna be. But oftentimes we're never given a voice, because black masculinity, the world is heterophobic. So any black man standing up to do anything is an affront to a system that feminizes boys and men on every level. So when you stand up, there's no young revolutionaries growing up no more. You don't see no 24-year-old Fred Hamptons, Mark Clark, Huey Newton. You don't see the Malcolms, the Martin. You don't see that no more. That's not a thing, because the children have no real examples of what a revolutionary looked like today. So just the very nature of what you have a question is, your question being, what is a revolutionary? How does that look? What do we see? You know, a lot of us is caught up in seeing, see, that's me doing this and getting all the attention. It's revolutionary. Where you see an ex-con who not talking about ex-con for Biden, talking about ex-con for Trump. Because this man, and then people will frown on you for you picking somebody that they don't like. But yet, with these the same people, if we're going to talk about women, will say they have the right to choose what happened to their bodies, meaning they have the right to kill a fetus in their body.
Right.
You have a man who cut his penis off, say he has the right to be called a woman. But when I come to me as an ex-con, or anybody said we're going to vote for Trump, you mad at us because we have the right to cast our vote for whoever the hell we want to cast our vote for. See
Right.
the oxymoronic nature of our illness and sickness that we
Hmm.
won't say nothing about, nothing I just said,
Yes.
yet you'll say something about who I vote for.
Hmm.
And with animation and attitude. I ain't vote for Trump because Trump did that. Then when I asked them to explain to me how their conditions and their communities are better after 50 years of Democrats, they can't. They say no, it's bad. But then you still vote for the same party that deliver nothing for you,
Yeah. Yeah.
that gives you nothing. But why do we love the devil? Because he gives us nothing.
That's right. He gives us nothing.
So the minister didn't say that about Trump for nothing. I'm
Hmm.
just ahead. I'm just past, present, future, perfect tense. Everybody else is slow. I'm all right.
Yes, you out there doing it, my man. Well, I can tell
Um,
that you love what you do. Your heart is in it, and you can't do a work like that unless you really had true love for the people, because for you to actually be out there, sacrificing your life, just I'm sure like today you've been so busy and you're right out there in the midst of it all and doing this podcast with me. So we had a double interview just now, and that was pretty interesting. I loved it
how
though.
you doing, sir?
Good. How are you doing?
We getting
Excellent.
it like,
Go ahead.
You want
yeah,
to
we
call?
getting a
I'm
up
on a
close
Zoom. What you want
close
to take
and
a picture?
personal.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. How long? Go ahead, sir.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Can you see that?
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Where you at? Where you from? What?
So I'm working for Proverbs Media Group,
Okay.
and they were helping Dr. Ben Carson for an event
Okay.
earlier.
Okay.
So
Let me give you some information. Small organization. I'm the executive director.
amazing.
Yeah.
I'm George.
George, nice to meet you, George.
Tyrone.
Yes, Tyrone.
Wonderful.
Stay in touch.
God bless.
You too, brother.
What do you love most about being a revolutionary?
The people,
Yeah.
meeting people in all walks of life, money, home, friendships, in all walks of life. So that's why we can't. That's why we don't find our treasure, and we can't store up treasures on earth because we too busy. I mean, in heaven because we too busy trying to store up the treasures on earth without understanding that in order for you to establish true treasures, the only thing is real outside of land is human beings. They don't make no more Sister Victoria. They don't make no more Tyrone Muhammad, and they don't make no more Earth. So for us to worry about Gucci, Poochie, and Suchi and Lucci is to take away from the spirit and the energy of love and truth and respect. See, once you learn the knowledge of God, self, and others, then you can understand why I can't be mad at them for being the devil. Then you can understand why I can't be mad at her for being a thought. Then for him for calling himself a nigga and wearing his pants hanging off his ass. You can't be mad at them once you learn
Mm.
the plot and what it is that, and that's why you have to have the patience of Job when you deal with our people. And because once you learn about something and you know, when you become a knower, I'm not just a believer, I'm a knower. See, that's a difference. A lot of people are believers. You got people
Yeah.
in the house, in the mosque, church, in the God, they say they believers, and everybody else is hypocrite. See, I'm a knower. I
Hmm.
don't need
Right.
a mosque, church, temple. You see, I'm sitting on the bench and people walking up to me because they walking up to a mosque.
Mhm.
They walking up
Within
to a
you,
temple.
the temple is
Yes.
within you.
And it draws all walks of life. And
Yeah.
it makes it, and when it's pure, it don't discriminate even while wearing ex-con on my chest.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So all
Hmm.
of it, I overcome all levels of discriminatory practices against me because ultimately I'm gonna control the room. I don't care what space is in because I got Allah in me.
That's right. Oh, wow. That reminds me of what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, too. How he brings the atmosphere with him wherever he goes. And so that's what we have to do. I see that in you, my dear brother. You have a book called Men on the Inside. Okay. And I
Yes,
think you went into some of that. But I want to know what inspired you to write that book.
that's it. It's called Men on the Inside:
Yeah.
Observations of Deviance, 13 Prison Character Types. Sitting in prison, having my mind focused and on just trying to find solutions to our issues,
Mm,
I made it a project to watch the behavior as a sociological project to watch the behavior of the various type of men that was languishing in these prisons that
mm,
society had no knowledge about. And the
mm,
only way you can know that these people exist is if you actually serving time with them and can see their activities every day. Most
yeah.
people would never see that. So when you see the level of deviancy and debauchery and foulness, as well as the level of godhood and beauty in a lot of these characters, the 13 character types, then you understand that true prison reform is necessary. Then you
Mm,
understand that if they was really smart, they would use my book as a tool to fix and heal the damage that the institutions of mass incarceration causes on bodies, right? That ultimately would be released back into society to cause more damage on other bodies that that long to be free. So
yeah.
it's not. This is not a this is not a game, you know. And
Mm,
your insight can't come by way of only Allah. So if you don't have it, you can't see it. And if it's not, hold on. How would they know unless they have a teacher? And
okay.
how would they have a teacher unless one is sent?
That's
So,
right.
so thinking that everybody's supposed to know just because they got a brain
Mm,
is really immature of us in our knowledge of self,
yes.
God, and others. Right? I know
Mm,
of others, and because I know of self,
that's right.
and I know of self because I know of God.
Yes.
So that's how you just gotta we guys got to tap in. So like I said, I was in college.
Mm-hmm.
I was being made into God while I was
Yes.
sitting in that doggone 9 by 12 cocoon being made to from a caterpillar to a butterfly.
Yes. Yes. Wow. Powerful, powerful. I see that you are also running for United States Senate for 2026. What
Yeah.
sparked this idea, and what are
Oh,
some ways that
same,
the community can support you?
same thing. And that's what I'm gonna do once after this election is over. I'm gearing up to run for the United States Senator, but I'm actually thinking about being a revolution, to create a revolution just to run for governor of Illinois. So I may just say, you know what, the hell with the state Senator because our evil government put in play an ordinance and a law that said ex-cons can't run for governor, ex-con can't be an alderman. But I can be the president of the United States, and I
Mm-hmm.
can be the senator of the United States. But I can't be a local alderman, a smaller position, nor can I be a mayor, nor can I be a governor. They put those provisions in there to prevent guys like me from ever having the ability to run or gather the people's attention to even ever think about voting for somebody like me. See,
Mm,
that's
yeah.
what they do. That's our black elected officials put that in place
Mm,
in
wow.
Chicago. So we diabolical, even perpetually discriminated against by everyone. I just said that our own black elected officials, they talk public safety, they talk reform, they talk social change, but yet they continue to practice other than self.
Mm, wow. Yes. This is a very meaty interview. I'm certainly enjoying it. I'm getting so much, and I pray that our listening audience out there are also being, just educated and enlightened. And there's a quick question here. What would you like the takeaway from the message that you gave today, what would you like to leave with the listening and viewing audience?
We must be the change we want to see. It's going to
Mm,
take us to save us. Stop looking outside of us to help us. If it was 100 Tyrone Muhammads, then the burden for me would be easy because we are like a strong chain and a link now that can actually hold some weight. But it's like with anything, we don't protect our leaders. That's why they murdered and assassinated. We don't protect our revolutionaries. That's why they murdered and assassinated. Like you
mm,
kill Tyrone Muhammad, you probably chances are ain't no nobody's gonna come up the rear and talk about ex-cons for community and social change. See,
mm,
and that's the I don't think we take ourselves serious enough. We don't take life serious enough. And we
mm.
don't take our duties and responsibility to the one another and community serious enough. That's why
Right.
it's easy for our babies to kill their mothers and parents and family members. That's why it's easy for us to see women and children terrorized and murdered through these communities
Mm,
and not be outraged that we have to step up as black men. And that's why it's easy for us as women to see little girls shaking their little booties on top of cars and
mm,
in the street, the asshole naked. And you as women do not come together collectively and say we have to teach more responsibilities to our daughters so that
mm,
they can learn that that activity is not good. But we not together, and we're not together because if we did, we wouldn't have to do that because we have already would have lined up at these record stores, record companies, and YouTube and Facebook and TikTok and Twitter to say, hey, we're banning that crap. We standing on that. We protesting. We demonstrating. We marching until you fix the content that has demoralized our communities and continue to demoralize the moral fiber of our neighborhoods. Where I say our hoods because we're not neighbors in the
mm,
hood.
mm. Wow. Wow, you said it, dear brother. Be the change that we want to see. I hear responsibility, accountability in that. And we have to really strive to do better as a people so that we can build a better future for ourselves. What are some ways to get in contact with you, brother, for the
Well, I'm
listening
on
audience?
Facebook. I'm on all. They always knocking me off Facebook because I say something profound. I can't even. They say I violated the tenets of Facebook or some shit. I say, yeah, all right. But I'm on every social media platform pretty much. And my email is Tyrone at ECCSC.org. That's the website. I mean, yeah, that's my email. Then I'm Tyrone Muhammad 17 at Tyrone Muhammad 17 on what is that? Instagram and Tyrone MUH on Twitter. But Tyrone Muhammad 708-677-8178. I ain't hiding. 708-677-8178 and Facebook, like I say, be the change we want to see.
Yes, absolutely. And how do we get your book?
Oh, TyroneMuhammad.com. That's it. That tells you everything right there. TyroneMuhammad.com is available there as well.
Excellent. Well, again, I want to tell you thank you so much for having you. It's a pleasure having you on the show here. And let's talk about it with Black Honesty. And we'll have to do a part two. So I'm looking forward to the next time,
Absolutely.
inshallah. Yes,
Hey,
sir.
buddy.
And thank you all for
It's
watching,
cool.
listening audience. And I look forward to seeing you all again in a couple of weeks, every first and third Thursday of the month.
Keep
Thank
up the
you,
good
brother.
work, sister, and thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure, and you're very welcome,
All
sir.
right.
Assalamu
Assalamu
alaikum.
alaikum. Wa
Wa
alaikum salam.
alaikum
Rahmatullahi
salam.
barakatuh.
Yes,